What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii and I'm back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video we have another showcase video, this time going through the brand newly released on Global World Clash Ace. So the whole story around this character was kind of interesting. If you guys were not playing around November last year, there was a massive event collaboratively between the Japanese and the global versions of the game, and basically it was a JP versus everyone type of event. And if you guys were not there for the event, it was pretty interesting. Nonetheless, what basically happened is that the winning team, either the JP side or all the global versions of the game, including the English and French versions and the Korean versions and the Taiwanese version, whoever won out of that basically got this ace early during November. Now, the JP side of the game have had this character since the World Clash, and now they've finally given it to us through our mailbox. Just randomly, they gave us this World Clash ace, which is awesome because this character is really goddamn cool. So in this video, we're going to be going through what he actually does, and I have 3 separate dungeons where I used him to basically clear the content. And I think that he's a pretty cool character, especially if you are more free to play, you don't have a lot of legend characters. This might be a character that you might want to go ahead and use relatively often because he is pretty strong. So this ace character is a Psy shooter free spirit character at max level at level 99. He has 2,269 health. I've obviously got cotton candies here, and he has 1280 attack and 337 recovery. His statistics across the board are quite weak for a 5-star character in my personal opinion. His stats are not as good as a rare recruit character, but in terms of what he does, he's definitely rare recruit worthy, honestly. Now, this guy only has 4 socket spots as well, and unfortunately, he cannot be limit broken. So that is also kind of a bad thing about him as well, is that potentially with a limit break, he might have got another really cool crewmate ability, or he might have got really nice potential abilities that would have helped him out a lot. Either way, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and start talking about this character. So his captain effect is going to boost the cruise attack by 3 times and heal by 500 HP at the end of each turn. This is a very good, very simple, straightforward, easy to understand captain effect. Rainbow 3 times unconditional captain, which is amazing, and also healing 500 HP at the end of each turn. It would have been nice if it was some sort of multiplier by his recovery, so you could actually go ahead and feed him recovery candies, potentially get a little bit more healing. But it is pretty nice because with auto heal sockets, of course, it's going to be 1500 healing guaranteed per turn. If for some whatever reason you're running double ace as a captain, I wouldn't suggest running double ace. I think it's much better to run him with a hybrid friend captain. But if you are, then you can heal up to 2000 per turn with the double captain effects and auto heal sockets. So it's pretty decent, honestly. Pretty good for a free to play character. And his special ability, which maxes at 10 turns, is quite awesome. So it will go ahead and bind himself for 50 turns. So that is a massive drawback to this character, but he grants so many beneficial effects to your crew. He's going to give your crew full matching orbs. You get guaranteed full board of matching orbs, as well as giving your crew a 1.75 times orb and attack boost for 2 turns, and then for 1 turn, you get a 0.7 chain boost. So he does so many really cool effects, but binding himself for 50 turns, which is obviously a huge drawback. However, one of the great characters that partners really well with this character, I'd say is almost essential if you're running this ace for his special ability, would be the World Clash Sabo. So World Clash Sabo is also a free character that came out during the World Clash, and you can actually purchase him right now on the Treasure Map Bazaar. If you go there, you can spend 3,000 of the blue Treasure Map tickets and pick up this guy for free. If you are ever planning on using that World Clash Ace, I would highly suggest picking up this character. Even if you don't really want to use Ace, I've actually used this guy on a couple of other different teams just because he has a really nice special ability. So his captain effect isn't anything too crazy. It's a 2.5 times boost to free spirit, and he also, like Ace, heals 500 at the end of each turn. And his special ability also maxes at 10 turns, which partners really well with Ace. He will go ahead and completely remove bind from one chosen character and changes block orbs into matching. So this is a perfect partner for Ace because not only does he get rid of Ace's bind, 50 turns of bind is pretty difficult to get rid of, and there aren't that many characters in the game that can get rid of bind completely on a character. Off the top of my head, there's only like the 3-day 2-year Nami and also the limited rare recruit Kobe. This guy also does that, and that's very, very nice to have. But the fact that he changes block orbs into matching is quite good, because the World Clash Ace does not have the special ability that changes block into matching. So you have this character that can partner well with this Ace, and you get a full board of matching orbs guaranteed no matter what. Obviously, hoping that there's no special interrupts. But anyways, that's the full breakdown of the Ace character, giving you guys the full breakdown of how he works. But now let's go ahead and start discussing him as we take on some content. So now I get to show you guys some content that I use this World Clash Ace as a captain to go ahead and beat. Now, as we just mentioned before, where we actually went through the character, I briefly mentioned about how to use this character. Like, when you're using him as a captain, you typically don't want to go ahead and use a double Ace captain, and the obvious reason for that is because his special ability binds himself, which means you need to bring like 2 characters that will directly unbind your characters, which can be kind of annoying and isn't really always ideal. However, I feel like the best way to use this character is to utilize either the classes or the color of this Ace. So that means that because he obviously is a Psy character, that Whitebeard and Marco would be a very, very good option as a friend captain for this World Clash Ace, especially if you're going to be doing high-level content like Training Forests. I think that Whitebeard and Marco would be a fantastic friend captain, because the World Clash Ace and Sabo are both Psy and Int, so you can go ahead and chuck them on a Whitebeard and Marco team. They get fully boosted, and I feel like that's a really good way to go about using the Ace character. Alternatively, because both Ace and the Sabo are free spirit, you could go ahead and use a friend captain Luffy and Ace, and that is also a really good option too, to go ahead and abuse more free spirit support, which is very, very solid. And free spirit have some pretty decent free-to-play characters as well. They can be used with this Ace to actually, you know, do some pretty decent damage towards the enemy. But for me personally, as you guys will be seeing in this video with our 3 different clips, I definitely prefer to use Gear 4 Luffy as a friend captain for this World Clash Ace. Now, I am going ahead and going to be showing you guys a Training Forest clip, and in most cases, if you're up in the Training Forest, I feel like Whitebeard Marco is kind of a better support unit to run as a captain, honestly, for Training Forest. But I still find Gear 4 Luffy to be kind of useful here with World Clash Ace specifically, and you guys will be seeing that we go ahead and take on the Blackbeard Forest, and it actually works out really, really well. Now, one of the things that I realized when I was trying to come up with teams to build for this Ace character is that Ace is a shooter character. Now, instantly when you see he's a shooter or they're a striker, you can go ahead and abuse the Coliseum Kid. That is amazing. Any sort of captain that can utilize Coliseum Kid is automatically going to have a massive advantage over other characters. I really do like the fact that this Sabo character, this Ace character, sorry, is a shooter. It would have been so annoying if he was like a free spirit fighter or something like that, but I'm really happy he's a shooter. Utilizing that kid is so useful, especially in the Training Forest that we'll go ahead and you guys will be seeing in this video as well. And we've got the special animation here for Sabo, and both of their special animations look very, very cool, honestly. But yeah, Coliseum Kid, you know, as I said before, you know, if you can utilize him, you really should, and he's just such a useful character to have. Now, because in this video we're going through 2 Coliseum fights and also against a Training Forest, having multiple different boosts is kind of useful, right? So that's why Treasure Map Big Mom, I utilize her a lot. She's a very, very good character here, because obviously, you know, you got Ace who does a lot of damage, and he gives you the matching orbs, gives you the chain boost, which is great, but you do have to bring a dedicated character on your team to help you get rid of his bind, which can be kind of annoying. And having another character such as the Treasure Map Big Mom is just super useful, because you can use her special either on the final boss itself or literally like on a mini boss, and that will help you take care of that quite comfortably. So I feel like Treasure Map Big Mom is honestly a really good unit to run on, like even if she's not fully boosted, she's going to be a useful asset to most teams and when you are team building. Team building with Ace is kind of interesting. I really wanted to make sure that I was running more free-to-play characters for this particular showcase video, just to showcase how some free-to-play players could be utilizing a character such as this. And I feel like that the characters that I ended up going for were pretty similar when I was building teams. Like definitely World Clash Sabo to help you get rid of the bind. He's pretty much a required unit, but there are other characters you could use. Obviously, as we mentioned before, 3-day 2-year Nami is a pretty good option. Limited Rare Recruit Kobe isn't as good because he's a driven booster, and it's just not the greatest. However, what you can do, Limited Rare Recruit Kobe, actually now that I'm thinking about it, is actually really, really good, because you can utilize your Ace special. Ace gives you the attack and all boost of the chain boost, and then Limited Rare Recruit Kobe He doesn't give you the type boost to driven characters because you've already got a type boost, but I believe he locks your orbs, so that is actually really, really good because you can lock those matching orbs that Ace gives you, and because you get a 2-turn attack and orb boost, limited rare recruit Kobe could be a pretty solid option to run in tandem with the new Ace, which is very, very cool. But as I said, I kept circling back to the same characters, kept going back to Big Mom, Coliseum Kid, and the World Clash Sabo. Those three, with your Ace as a captain, were like my core that I kept going back to, and then another good Rainbow captain, which I kept going for, was obviously Gear 4 Luffy. The team just worked really well in clearing most content, and then you had like a space free for whatever you really wanted. Now, you guys will be seeing in a second, we're going to be moving over to the Blackbeard Forest. The Blackbeard Forest, I really wanted to knuckle down and let Ace beat that forest, and there were so many times I got to the final boss stage, but I just didn't have enough damage, and that was when I realized, like, I was just trying to kill the boss stage in one turn, but Ace doesn't really have a really good multiplier as high as, you know, 4 times, 3.5 times even. So the best way to do it is to 2-turn burst it with 1 turn with Big Mom and another turn with Ace's special, and that is able to beat the Blackbeard dungeon, or the last stage of Blackbeard. But honestly, this team was very comfortable all the way through. Like, this team was easily making it to the final stage, and then I realized, wait, maybe I should use Big Mom and Ace on the final stage instead of, using like Big Mom or Ace on stage 19 and use the Coliseum Kid on stage 19 to wave clear that stage. And that was definitely the big problem for me trying to get through this particular dungeon. But it was really fun actually using this Ace, and I'm really, really happy that he's finally on global. I'm really happy that everyone now has access to him. So, get out there, start using this Ace character. I think he's a very, very powerful unit for free-to-play players, and he will be able to beat a lot of relatively difficult content. I haven't actually tried him against the Garp challenge yet. That will be very, very interesting to see how that goes. I feel like he might struggle with that in particular, and the main reason why he's going to struggle with a lot of content is because you have to bring a dedicated character on your crew to help you get rid of the bind that Ace puts on himself. That is a pretty big drawback. It means that you lose space for more damage or for more boosters on other rooms. You lose space on your crew for more utility characters. So that means that your captain, your friend captain I mean, and your other subunits are going to have to be, very, very reliant. Like, those other 4 characters you have in your crew have to be very, very powerful to help you, carry Ace a little bit, because he does only have a 3 times multiplier, which isn't the greatest. It's solid, but not the greatest, and he does heal a little bit with his captain effect, as we mentioned prior to as well. But yeah, it's the fact that he does bind himself, so that's going to be an issue to get around. But when you do have that character to unbind him, and the amount of damage that he gives you is so, so good, you don't even have to really use him as a captain if you don't want to. I mean, he's still a very, very solid unit to run as a sub unit, and you can still run Ace as a sub as well, and you can run a captain with a much higher multiplier. Like, that is also a really good way to go about it as well. If you own the Gear 4 Luffy as well, you can run double Gear 4 Luffy with the Ace and Sabo as a sub, and that's a really good way to go about it as well. Unfortunately, because he is an Ace character, you can't run Luffy and Ace as a captain. That's a little bit of a drawback. Either way, anything free spirit related, you can run him on a shooter team if you really wanted to. That's kind of interesting, but I don't think there's any shooter character that completely gets rid of bind on a character, so that might be a little bit of a drawback. Either way, that's the full showcase video of the new World Clash Ace. So we're gonna let this rest of this clip play through. Hopefully you guys do go on to enjoy the video, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
OPTC!